Hello friends, this is Kara Renee with Be Reborn Art and Healing. Today I'm working on my Sunday's Art of Truth, and I'm going to be working on a piece of corrugated cardboard, which I have already torn and kind of created some grungy look. Some of it's not going to show because I'm going to be doing some paper collaging on top of it, but nonetheless it's going to be fun, a fun process. So that's what I'm looking forward to today. Getting a little bit messy with some wet media. I've got a bunch of supplies here. I'll be doing some stamping using some of this postage stamping. I've got some scraps from my stash. These are actually from an art piece that I did, and I made a photocopy of the canvas, and then just a variety of old music pages and such. But you'll see that as we move along. Shouldn't be too long of a process or too difficult. I'm going to keep it really simple. I did already gesso my surface because it's cardboard, and when it gets wet, it's going to get really soggy. So the gesso is going to help to create a barrier between the cardboard and the wet media that I'll be using. I picked a few colors. Burnt sienna. This is I believe this is a high flow acrylic. I've got medium magenta in Liquitex Heavy Body and golden cobalt turquoise. Not sure if I'm going to use that or not, but we'll see as we go along. And I already did ink the edges of all of my paper bits just because I wanted to save time on the video. I really like that vintage look. Got my black archival ink to do some stamping. So the quote that I'm going to be using for today's project is from an author named Charles Martin. I have everything he's ever written. He's a phenomenal author that writes in a way that is so deep and so inspiring that it blows my mind. I can read the books or listen to the books over and over, and I always learn something new. So this quote comes from one of his books. It's called it says, "We are the keepers of the letters that set us free." So I'm going to be writing about that in my Sunday's Art of Truth, and this piece is going to go along with that. I'm not exactly sure if I'm actually going to put the quote on this piece or not. I will decide that later, probably off camera, because I'm sure that I'm not going to know until I get finished. So I'll just add it if I decide to, but that's going to be the title and the theme of the piece. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this on over. And again, I did already pre-gesso this, so I have it already prepped, and it's going to be nice and protected. It is a little bit flimsy in that it's bendable here, but I'm just creating it just to have fun. So I'm going to go ahead and start with some. I almost want to put a little bit of just scrape some gesso on. So I'm not sure if I want to do that though. Let's just try and keep it really basic. So I usually go in with my lightest color first. So I'm going to go in with this burnt sienna, and I'm just going to get some paper towels ready here. And hold on, they're out of reach. There we go. Got some paper towels for dabbing, and I'm just going to go ahead and squirt some of this on. I'm going to get my water as well, and just kind of get a little bit of color on here. Look at that beautiful color. Love it. Oops, I'm going to move that stuff out of the way it doesn't get wet. I'm going to go ahead and let this drip down a little bit. Hopefully you can see that on camera here. Just going to tip it, get it to get in all of those little crevices. Go again the other way. We're going to get pretty messy today. And mostly the center is going to be covered, so I'm not going to really focus on the middle sections. So let me just wipe this up really quick. And let's see if we need anything else. I think that is really good. Put just a little bit up here. I don't want that cardboard to show. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this so that we can come in with our second color, which is going to be the cobalt turquoise. So I'll be right back. Okay, this is mostly dry, or at least dry enough to move on to the next step. I love how it sinks into that corrugated cardboard. And you can see like here is where there might have been some inconsistent coverage of the gesso, and then also down here, because a gessoed surface will react to mediums different than a non-gessoed surface. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of fun to explore what the different things do too. So I've got my cobalt turquoise, and this one I'm just going to kind of go, I almost want some texture on here, but I'm not sure I want to create it with texture paste. So I'm just going to get some down here, and let's just see where we go here. Got a little bit on my mat here. We're just going to kind of just play around here and just kind of skip. Yeah, I don't think we need any 3D texture. This is going to be absolutely stunning. Whoops. It is a little bit damp, so you can see I'm going to get a little bit of a color variation there, but that's okay because this is just going to be sweet and simple. I really want to focus on the story as I create this. And I love what the gesso does here. This is the gesso that's creating these areas where we can kind of catch that paint. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. It's exactly what I was looking for. There we go. And I'm going to get a little bit of it down in here just in case I don't cover all of in case some of that is exposed. I don't think it will be once I get my collaging on. But just in case, probably should get a little bit of that quinacridone gold in here just in case as well, but a little bit different color there. We're going to have to dry this one more time, so I will be right back. Okay, it is dry, but again, you see how this is bending, and I want, if I end up giving this away or something, I want it to be stable. So when it's completely dry, what I'll probably do is come on and put a piece of chipboard on the back of this just to stabilize that surface. But for now, we're just going to continue to work on it. It's a little bit bendy here, probably because I don't have much wet medium in the middle, so it's tending to want to bow at the sides. Clearly have some wet paint underneath here. So the next thing I'm going to do is come in and do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to use that postage stamp, but I cannot do mixed media without doing my Scripty stamps. So let me grab that as well. It's like one of my favorite stamps of all time. So it is this one it's this Paris stamp. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping with black archival ink. See if I can get this in frame for you. I can move over. There we go. So let's just get this inked up here. Oops, my ringer is not off, or my sound is not off on my phone. I will fix that in a moment. I'm just going to do this. Nice and simple and fast. To get a bunch of the surface covered in one go. And up here, there we go. Thinking it looks good. So we need a little bit down here. I'll show you a close-up here. I just love this effect because it just gives this really vintagey feel to your project, whether you're doing, ephemera in a junk journal, or you're doing work on a canvas, or in your art journal, or a mixed media journal, all the same. Sorry about that, guys. I clearly need to turn this off. Give me just a second. And my phone locks super fast, so I have to always unlock it, turn everything off, and then I also did take a picture of my layout, so let me show you this really quick. Just because it can be easy to kind of forget what your original layout was when you start taking the pieces apart to start the project. So I'm going to keep that up, even though it's going to time out like in, a minute. At least the picture will be up and I can keep flipping around to it. So, so kind of what we're doing here is we're going to do some collaging. I do also remember, I'm so sorry to be jumping around. I was thinking while I was drying that I want to do some white splatters. I noticed that I got a little bit of a white splatter and I thought, hey, I think a little bit of white would be good here. So let's do that really quick first. So I'm just going to get a little bit of this thicker paint out, and I'm going to spray that with some water to thin it out. And then we're just going to do some splatters and then we'll come back to the collaging. Sorry about that. I just think white splatters are lovely. Hopefully get some on here. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Kind of all over the place. I've got so many projects in my head right now that in the junk journaling world and creating ephemera and stuff, but then I just was feeling like, wow, I need to get messy with some mixed media. So I decided to go ahead and do this today. So let me go ahead and dry this really quick again and I'll be right back. Okay, friends, this is dry now. I love the splatters. White is always a great color to neutralize, especially when you're using a lot of dark colors. I'm using some deep colors here. My collaging has got some deep collage or deep patterns as well, or colors. Excuse me, I'm going to bring my photo back up here. So I'm trying to think about what order this was supposed to go in. We're just going to play. The glue that I'm going to be using will allow me some freedom to move things around a little bit. So here's my letter, and you probably saw my little Post-it note here. I made a note of the maker of this digital. It's Lisa Wine's Studio, and they're called Vintage Envelopes. So we're going to use that vintage envelope. And then we're using some of these collage bits just to create some interest around the piece. It's pretty dark though. I'm not, now that I've got my dark background, I'm not sure that that's really going to work without something behind it. So let me go ahead and ink this up really quick. And maybe we'll get some of this sheet paper down so that we have a contrast for our darker collage pieces. And when I say sheet paper, this is from SeanPetite.com collage pack, and she calls it the sheet paper because it talks about bravery and choice and letting go and letting go of fear and those things. And it's just really, really meaningful to me. I just absolutely love the sheet paper. So I want to be able to use it. So I'm going to kind of just fudge this a little bit and see what I can make happen, because now my background is just way dark. So that should probably work like that. And to go up a little bit though. I want to kind of get them in place a little bit before I start gluing, because if I need to shift anything, I want to be able to do that comfortably. I'm going to stick this paper up here. And as you can see, some of my background, a lot of my background is going to get covered. And that's just kind of the nature of mixed media, as you've probably heard me say 100 times. So, and so our letter's going to go kind of, oh, that would be really beautiful, wouldn't it? Just kind of collage that up a bit. And then my little girl is going to go here. And I'll be sure again to link all these makers in the supply list over on my blog. So let's see what else we can get in here. I just really love, I want to see that bravely though. So let's get that in there. And let's get a piece of music page over here as well. I had already inked these just to kind of save a little bit of time and process. I am loving that. And I don't even think I need any more. I have a couple of other dark pieces. I just want to show you the main focal point of this original piece that I did. that's obviously in French. And I made this canvas for a really dear woman in my life. I don't really get to see her or talk to her, but sometimes God brings people into your life and they touch you and your soul so deeply that it's kind of inexplainable and unforgettable. And so I made this for her and she hung it in her home. So I love it. I did decide not to actually, well, you know what? Maybe we'll use that instead of the butterfly now that I've rearranged my, ha ha ha. Yeah, nope. I think I need the butterfly. So there we go. And then what I like to do, guys, is now that I've got this all in place, we're going to have, it's going to be tricky to remember where everything is, right? So I'm going to stick that under there. I don't think that needs to go there. Let's try there. Yeah. Is what I try to do is I take this and I flip this. Well, it's not going to work. Let me just set it aside. It's still early in the morning here, guys. There we go. How about that? We're just going to go for it. So let me go ahead and get my glue that I want to use for this. I'm going to use my fluid matte medium from Liquitex. So I'm just going to get those out of the way. Boy, I am all over the place. So glad I have my patient friends here. You don't give up on me. And then I have these flowers, goodness gracious, leaves that I printed on vellum that I'm hoping to use, but we'll see how that goes. So we're going to go ahead and get this piece down first because it clearly is supposed to go on the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and just get this nice and glued up. And I'm going to get some on the surface as well. Hopefully in about the right place. I just really want to see that bravely piece. So there we go. Yes, beautiful. And then it looks like this piece, or probably this piece up here, needs to get on. This is an old music page from a vintage book from my stash. And yes, I do use the originals because I can't have everything be precious, you know, because if it's too precious, you don't use it. And then what's the point of collecting stuff? So now we're going to go ahead and put our sheet paper down. Just slopping that on, that's okay. And let's get this in here in position. Make sure it's as straight as can be. And then we might have to sneak some stuff under. So I'm trying to think about what I had sticking out. I think I had this music page. Did I have a music page sticking out here? I know I had this little sliver. Let's get that on there. In there, excuse me. A little bit of music. Let's see what else we've got that needs to go under. I think this is supposed to go here. So hopefully there's nothing else that needed to go under. I'm going to go ahead and give this a coat, a matte medium, just because I didn't already do that. I like to give it a nice coat under and then over on the top as well. Getting a little bit of warping, but that's okay. It is okay. It's mixed media. I don't even remember what I'm doing now as far as the layers. I believe I had this going like that, so we'll put this butterfly down next. Sorry, this is off camera, but I don't have enough desk space here to keep everything in screen. I'm doing my best. There we go. And even though these papers were printed like eons ago, they still do bleed. So you can probably see I've got some pinkish color in my glue now. I'm not sure why they do that after months and months of sitting, but they do. Okay. And we're not going to be able to avoid that wrinkling because we're working on cardboard. So let's go ahead, let's see what we were going to do here. So let's get that up there, and then I think that was supposed to go further over, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get a bit of this music page over here. I don't remember where it originally was, but that's okay. And get this beauty on. I just love the layering of collage. It's just so peaceful and so healing, and there's no rules, and I get so tired of rules in life. You know, I love that art doesn't have rules, especially mixed media art where you're just being expressive. So I think we need to put something else down here when our girl goes on, because otherwise she's not going to have anything to kind of sit on here. Oops, wrong side. It's the inked side. It's just kind of upside down, but that's okay. Okay. There we go. Like that. We've got our letter. Go ahead and get some matte medium on the back. This is again Liquitex Fluid Matte Medium. Really, really, really thin. And oh, I just love this already. I love it. Yes, sirree. This is yummy. And then our girl is going to go over here, I think. I almost feel like we need more on here, but I don't want to overdo it either. Maybe we should do the Jete Mama on here. So I am going to do that, guys. This is just a copy and no sweat. I'm just going to tear that, that word out. Perfect. Yeah. Let's just do it. You gotta go with your gut. You know, something's speaking to you, or, you know, as your project evolves, you get to change it up and add things or take things away. It's nothing set in stone. Yeah, I think this is going to be perfect. And this is really a really important, it's an important part of my story. So I think that it's good to do this for myself. So it may not speak to anybody else, but hopefully when you read the blog, you know, things will resonate with you, because there's just so many stories, aren't there? We all have a different story, and all of our stories impact us differently, which is really the beauty of sharing in life. So I want to kind of put these leaves in here if I can. I don't know how they're going to hold up with matte medium, but we're going to go ahead and give them a try. I've never used them in mixed media before, so I've not used vellum, but that is absolutely gorgeous because it you can still see the letter. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wow. Look at that. Wowza. I love it. Wow, this is very pleasing. It is going to wrinkle a little bit because it's just a really thin paper, but I actually think it adds to the look, because you can see here we're getting some wrinkles in this one. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me show you, but it's going to be covered up with our girl, so it's going to be fine. then we're just going to go ahead and put our girl on top of that. Just get a little bit more glue there. There we go. I love that it's wrinkling though. I didn't expect that. But it's really quite nice. We've got our little girl here. Let's just kind of put her up here like so. Yeah, oh my gosh. That is it, guys. Wow. So fast, so fun. Let me go ahead and dry this, and I'm going to come back and do some shading with my charcoal pencil, and we'll see if it needs anything else, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back. This is nice and dry. While I was off camera, I did go ahead and back it, as I mentioned, with some chipboard. And so now I'm going to go ahead and do my shading around the edges, and I'm going to really try to ink this up. It's going to be kind of separated here because just the nature of the cardboard and the nature of the chipboard, but I think it actually adds to the piece. So we're going to go ahead and do some shading. I'm going to come in with my charcoal pencil and do, you know what, actually I don't think I want black. Now that I think about this, because I've already edged it with my vintage photo, I'm gonna go different here, and I'm gonna do just some more inking with the vintage photo. Glad I changed my mind on that, because I don't want to make it all dark and black like I usually do. It's already got some great shading around all those pieces that I had previously done. So, and I didn't come in with my postage stamp. I might look at that again before we finish up here. Something hanging off the edge there. That's okay. Adds interest. So just going to come in here, do that, and then just going to kind of see if I can, this is going to probably rip my sponge up, but it's okay. Just get that edge really nice so that it looks a little bit more like it belongs. Not a big deal. Super fast and easy project. I love this. I don't ever get a mixed media project done in less than 30 minutes. But I did, so that's feeling pretty awesome. I think sometimes with mixed media I overthink it, and then I end up just creating more of an issue than I need to. So I am loving it. And I, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm not sure if I want to put the quote on it or not. I'll have to kind of think about that. I love what this leaf is doing. It didn't glue down completely, and so it's kind of crispy. And so I just kind of accentuated that little roll. I don't know if you can see that, like that little roll of the top of that leaf. And I apologize, while I was off camera, I did come in with a little bit of pink because I wanted to draw the pink out in this. So while I was off camera, I did add just a little bit of pink, not much. I love the grunginess of this. I love the message. I did pull those postage stamps out, but I'm not going to use them. I think this says enough. We've got a little bit of postal here. And I probably will put the quote on, but I'm going to think on it a little bit. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you're inspired to expand how you create with mixed media. I tend to keep some certain techniques strictly in mixed media and then others in just paper crafts. And what I'm learning is that I can bring both of those things together and create something really beautiful, which I think happened here, if I do say so myself. I really love this. I think it really speaks a lot. It speaks to me. I hope that you're inspired. I hope that you'll give it a try. If you like this video, can you go ahead and give it a thumbs up? That just allows other people to see it, and just to kind of be able to get around the algorithms with YouTube. As I've mentioned before, I'm not all about subscribers. I'm not all about likes and comments and all of that. I really just want to share the art, but I want it to be able to reach more people. And the way YouTube works just doesn't it doesn't allow for that. So, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and if you like what I create, I'd encourage you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I create. I am creating quite a bit. I'm doing a lot in the junk journaling world, doing a lot of ephemera and things like that, just kind of bouncing around and kind of expanding my horizons. So thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.